On this week's show, we take you out of the office and into the cage with Lady Flame hooper Dee Brown and another award for head coach Ritchie McKay.
Plus, find out who's moving up in minor league ball and who's making moves in the USFL. This is Flame Central.
Welcome to Flame Central, coming to you today from inside the beautiful Liberty Arena, the home for Liberty basketball and volleyball, and our home for today. Alongside Matt Warner, I'm Emily Austin.
Yeah, we've been kicked out of our studio for a few weeks, but you know, nobody minds when you get to do a show in a place like this. A nice change of pace for us during the summer months. Yeah,
Matt, speaking of summer, we're bringing back a popular segment this summer called Out of the Office. It's where we spend time with a Liberty player or coach as they participate in a hobby away from their sport.
Yeah, we kick it off today with an athlete that can usually be seen right behind us on this court, Dee Brown. She brings a grit and a toughness to the Lady Flames, but when she wants to relax, it's a different sport she turns to.
Going to the batting cage is one of my favorite hobbies because when I was a kid, my dad coached a baseball team and my brother was on it, and ever since we were kids, he always used to take them to the batting cages just to practice and everything, and I was always on the sidelines, and I wanted to get in the batting cages so bad, but he never let me because I played basketball. He never wanted me to hurt myself, so then when he finally let me in, it was like a release of everything. I mean, I'm not a professional baseball player, but just hitting the ball is always challenging for me. I usually stay in like the lower speed of stuff just so I can have a better chance of hitting it, but really just getting the ball to hit the bat is really the hardest thing for me. So I think going to the batting cage has really taught me that really just gotta have patience, just like in basketball. You get in a certain rhythm, and just in the batting cage, you get in a certain rhythm. And when you hit the ball, it's just like everything starts to flow, just like when you hit a shot. It really taught me just patience. You're not gonna be able to hit every single ball. You're not gonna be able to hit every single shot, but you gotta keep at it. You gotta keep practicing at it. I'm still not the best batting cage hitter. Good thing now. But I keep practicing at it, and I just keep going at it, just like in basketball. I practice every day. If there's something I'm not good at, I gotta keep going in the gym, practicing at it and going at it. Oh yeah. Very important to just get away from basketball sometimes, just to take a mental break from everything. I think I preach self-care a lot to my girls on the team, and I just preach that they gotta go out there and find different things and different hobbies that as outside of basketball. We're not gonna be basketball players forever. We all have a certain duration of our athletic life in basketball, so I just think finding another peaceful place where you could just go out and explore those type of things is very good. Because I'm a power player in basketball. I'm all power, I'm all strength, and coming out here into the batting cages, I can just use all my power. I can use all my strength, all the power and strength I can't use in basketball because I'm gonna get a foul call. The feeling of hitting the ball right is you just feel a vibration through your whole body. Like, it just feel like it's just all power behind it. You just see the ball go far. It's like a half-court shot. It's like a half-court shot to me. Like when you hit a half-court shot at the buzzer beater, that's how it feels to me when I finally hit a ball. It's just like a great release.
Seeing the way Dee Brown plays on the floor, I kind of thought maybe boxing would be her sport of choice away from the court. She's that kind of tough, gritty kind of player, but no, looks like she has a good time out there, and I get it. You want to go out there, take out a little frustration, get some hacks in. Looks like she had a good time.
Hey, we might have a multi-sport athlete. I'm not sure if Dot Richardson is watching, but she might need to get out to one of those Lady Flame softball practices. She might have a little fun out there.
Yeah, if she can bring to them what she brings to Liberty women's basketball, yeah, she'd be a nice addition. All right, we stay on the court now as Liberty men's basketball head coach Ritchie McKay earned quite the honor this week. McKay has been named the 2022 recipient of the Nation of Coaches Master Coach Award. This award is given out to a coach who resolves to honor Jesus in all that they do, both on the court and within their family, as well as using their role as an opportunity to further develop others in their walk with Christ. Some past recipients of this award have been Rick Barnes and Homer Drew, and Coach McKay spoke about what it meant to be recognized with this award.
I feel very honored to receive an award with not prestige, but with the meaning behind the award. And there are so many contributors to individual honors or recognition. And I think that's why we had a chance for our program to be honored, because of the kind of servant leadership that it permeates in and through our program. And for that, I'm honored. I would just say, lastly, you can never give away what you don't possess. And for me, having a chance to possess a grace that has been extended to me in my Savior it allows, I think, us individually and programmatically to love others that way. And I hope this award is a reflection of that.
What an honor it is to have Coach McKay here on the mountain, leading team after team within this program with such humility and poise. When you look at this man, you could see all the accomplishments, all the victories, all the titles, the tournament appearances, but you don't necessarily. You see heart, relationships, forgiveness, and growth, not only in him, but his players and his staff. That is the culture of Liberty basketball.
If you don't enjoy how far you've come, then how far you have to go will be it'll be an idol, it'll be a trap. While I was at Virginia, really from day one, I thought, man, I really missed what Liberty afforded as a man. Just the pursuit of excellence, the camaraderie of faculty, staff, and then a student body that had a fervor and a passion for God's word and that personal relationship with Jesus. I missed that intentionality from an entire community. And I always thought, man, I'd love to be back at a Christian school. Never thought I'd have the opportunity at Liberty.
But God had other plans.
Please join me in welcoming Ritchie McKay.
It was another way that God showed me that he was the author of miracles, however little or small they would be. I think it was miraculous that I got an invitation to come back.
There would be a lot of work to do as the Flames were coming off a 9-23 campaign the previous season. But his second stint at Liberty came with a new perspective.
When you go from being a head coach and making all the decisions to being an assistant and supporting the decisions, I think you don't have a choice but to serve. So I think I became better as a coach because I was way more intentional about serving than I was about the outcome. And that maturation process that God took me through really was like a graduate course. And it took 6 years. And I'm still learning, but I think it really helped me be more process-oriented instead of being outcome-based.
After a slow start, McKay would begin to see the fruit of those lessons in just his first season back.
Even though we lost our first 13 Division I games, you could see it turning. And when we beat Coastal Carolina in January for our first Division I win, you would have thought we won the Big South Championship. But it was a marker for us.
The Flames would exceed expectations in year 1 and would win over 20 games in year 2. Year 3 would see Liberty make it all the way to the conference tournament championship. But it would be McKay's 4th year, LU's first in the ASUN Conference, where things would really come together.
I just started to see, and these guys are believing in our program and they're contributing in a way I think that is foundational to what we hope and aspire to do.
Liberty would go on to win its first 7 conference games in the new league, setting up a showdown with defending ASUN champion Lipscomb.
I remember it was really the first time that we had been back at Liberty where there was any kind of national attention to a particular game. The Vines was packed. Man, there was an excitement about the game. And they punched us in the face. They dominated us. It was so humble. I remember thinking, because they were up 30, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, we have no chance.
But instead of faltering, the team would use this loss as motivation.
To see them respond to that and not get beat over the head or whatever, it did something. It was a catalyst that really did change that season. And the evidence of that was to go into Lipscomb and beat them for a chance to have a share of the conference championship.
Liberty, put your dancing shoes on.
And then to win the conference tournament game on their floor, that was amazing. And to me, it was a reflection of the guys that we had in our program, their commitment to what we valued as a program
But the Flames wouldn't be content with just making the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this group had a belief. They had a belief from the little successes that they had, their response to adversity, and the privilege it was to be in the tournament. I think they had a unity that warranted the opportunity.
Liberty would go on to upset Mississippi State, marking the program's first ever NCAA tournament victory.
The exposure we got, I think, opened some doors in recruiting that maybe we wouldn't have had without it. And then the thankfulness that our guys had, that their hard work and small deposits accumulated into something that we had dreamed about.
The program's success would continue with conference championships and NCAA tournament bids in each of the following 2 years. But despite the accomplishments, McKay believes his work at Liberty is far from over.
A really good friend of mine in Division I coaching, who coaches at a high major, said to me, "You should leave now because it'll never be as good as where you brought it." And I don't think I brought it. This was God allowing our family to have success. But I understand why he said that. Because now there's an expectation for us to get to the tournament every year, and it's really hard to get to the NCAA tournament. I think the only way for me to navigate it is to remember the privilege it is to coach where I get to coach, and not to be trapped by those expectations, but to embrace them, because the fact that everyone wants us, expects us, and hopes us to be in the NCAA tournament and to advance is a good thing. Like, they care. But you can't get your identity from that. And if you do, you'll have less of an impact on those that you lead or those that you get to do life with. So I'm still in process of that because I want to win.
The wins keep adding up for Liberty basketball as Coach McKay continues to embrace his call, leading the program and giving the glory to God.
And the only way to do that is to model and emulate what Jesus did for us in trying to bring glory to the kingdom. I hope I'm intentional about that every day that my feet hit the floor.
Such a great piece by our Jonah Jabor. You know, Matt, it takes a special man to be able to have a vision for a program, but actually execute it. And we see it year in and year out. And the guys that come from this program just carry on the traditions that Coach McKay has taught them. It's been really neat to see.
Yeah, and you hear him say, like, it's not just about winning, right? It's about developing these people. But when you do things the right way, winning can be a byproduct,
right.
And it certainly has been under McKay's tenure.
And I have a feeling that will continue here at Liberty.
So.
All right, coming up, we check in on some former Flames playing minor league baseball and one who's been a standout in the USFL.
Plus, meet a former manager who's played his way onto the roster for LU basketball. That's all when Flames Central returns.
On this mountain stands a legacy. 50 years of miracles, of mountaintop moments. One mission from the start: training champions for Christ. On this mountain, our flames burn brightly. We have a culture of academic excellence, unified in Christ and authentic community. Though we come from different paths and places, the same fire burns in all of us. And 125,000 strong, we cheer each other on around the stadium and around the world. On this mountain, our intensity lights up the night. We coach forward, push onward, honoring Christ in every sphere of our lives. We serve, give, and volunteer, grateful for all that we have been given. For 50 years, Liberty University has stood united in our mission. On this mountain, we train champions for Christ.
Where you train is where you learn how to say, I know this. I've done this. I've got this. I'm ready. So you can surpass expectations when they say you're hired. At Liberty University, you'll train in world-class facilities as you prepare for a world-class career.
Hey, welcome back to Flames Central, coming to you today from Liberty Arena. Well, here we are, the latter part of June, and that means pro baseball is in the thick of their season. It also means a number of former Flames are trying to play their way towards the big leagues. Let's take a look at how a few of them are faring this season. We start with pitcher Fraser Ellard in the White Sox organization. It's his first full year of pro ball, and he was just promoted to Double-A Birmingham. He's sporting a solid ERA in the mid-threes. Meanwhile, infielder Will Wagner, also recently promoted to Double-A. He's at the Astros Double-A affiliate in Corpus Christi. On the year, batting average over 260. But as he did with the Flames, Will's getting on base a lot via the walk. And finally, pitcher Noah Skiro at Double-A Reading in the Phillies organization. He spent some time on the injured list, but when he's been healthy, he's been darn good. In 9 starts, 39 innings, he's racked up 50 strikeouts. Best of luck to all of these guys as they continue their season.
All right, switching gears to the gridiron, Anthony Butler. You may remember hearing that name in the fall of 2020. When the linebacker wasn't breaking up passes or grabbing interceptions, he was probably tackling the opponent. In fact, he ranked second on LU's squad that season with 67 total tackles. After a successful senior campaign at Liberty, Butler was hopeful to get a chance to play in the NFL. And that dream is still alive today.
That one batted in the air, intercepted. Intercepted by guess who?
Former Liberty linebacker Anthony Butler made an immediate impact on the Flames defense in his 1 year on the mountain. And after his college career ended, he hoped to continue playing in the NFL.
Decided to leave, and then, the draft comes. I didn't get drafted. I thought I was going to get drafted. I didn't have the best pro day. And then I ended up signing with the Colts after the draft. Went out there to camp, really did well. They liked me a lot. I was supposed to come back after camp. I basically got waived.
Butler wouldn't give up on his dream of playing pro football.
I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, like there's no way that I'm going to end my playing career by being cut in rookie minicamp. I could never let myself just go out like that. Really just kept believing that I could do it, even though, it didn't seem like it could be done. I had nothing, nothing at all. No calls, no workouts. I was just at home working out, believing that I could play in the NFL or play football again, for that matter, whether it's CFL, USFL, wherever. I just believed that I could still play. So, yeah, some people would probably call it insanity, but, I just kept working.
That insanity would lead to an opportunity and a chance to continue his dream with the Tampa Bay Bandits of the newly formed USFL.
I was sitting down trying to fill out job applications to get another job to start working again. And I got a call from Director of Player Personnel, Jim Pop, called me and said they wanted to bring me in. I was just ecstatic. I was so grateful, so happy.
And once he arrived with the Bandits, he would make an immediate impact.
The first day I put my helmet on, my first 2 days of practice, the first 2 plays, I made 2 plays back to back. And I just was like, oh, this is still football. It's not anything different than what it was when I was in college. It's crazy that I can just come down here and just still play ball and do what I love to do.
Butler would lead the Bandits in both tackles and interceptions in only 5 games played. And moving forward, the goal remains the same for the former Liberty linebacker.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, I can get into someone's camp and continue to show what I can do. I think that I've done enough to prove that I do deserve a chance to play It's not in my hands, though. That's up to God and, the powers that be that make those decisions. I got a lot more left on my journey, but these last couple of weeks have been crazy. I can't lie. It's been a wow factor every weekend.
So great to catch up with Butler. All right, does that get you fired up for some football? Yeah, me too. Be sure you purchase your Flames football tickets today. Some good teams coming to town: Virginia Tech, BYU. Don't miss out. Head over to lufootball.com to get your tickets today. All right, coming up after the break, we head back to the hardwood to hear the remarkable journey of Flames guard Steven Berggraf. Don't go anywhere. More Flames Central next.
For me, I started here at Liberty University in 2006. I sat down with Dr. Jerry Falwell himself. He looked at me in my eyes and he said, "You're going to be the reason why we start to turn this program around to one day beating Notre Dame." I shook his hand and said, "I promise I'm going to do my part." Our football team was here when there was AstroTurf. Like, we didn't even have an away locker room for teams. DeMoss was the newest building built on campus when I was here. Like, we thought that was it. We're like, yo, this university is growing. That's how long ago it was. Not even long ago, but that's how quick the university grew. For me, getting my jersey retired means so much. It means the world to me, not just even to me, but everybody that was a part. Like, I didn't do it by myself. I had people believe in me before I knew who I was. For me, to think that the jersey retirement is about myself would be ignorant. This jersey retirement is a staple of a group of men that came together and committed to something bigger than themselves. Liberty University is majorly important to our culture today because of what we represent. And so, to culture where morality is being challenged constantly, you need a backbone, and Liberty provides that.
God's calling for your life can be specific, and at Liberty, we're committed to equipping you to pursue that calling. Choose from more than 300 residential programs of study, or design your own major through interdisciplinary studies, and be confident your major is the perfect fit. No matter how specific your calling, you'll find a program of study to match at Liberty University, and become your best as a champion for Christ.
You might have heard some things about Liberty University, like how we're just a little Christian school in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing to do here. I mean, come on, you know us. Boring.
Boring?
Yeah. They say we don't work as hard, think as hard, try as hard.
I object.
The truth is, well, we might surprise you.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for staying with us for this special edition of Flame Central at Liberty Arena. It's clear that one of the fan favorites to step onto the court for LU is Steven Berggraf.
Yeah, that's right. When the guard takes the floor, the crowd just seems to erupt every single time. And when you hear about his journey to get onto this team, you'll be rooting for him too.
Checking in for the first time, Steven Berggraf. A junior, he's a local product, played at LCA.
I've been in Lynchburg my entire life, school across the street.
He was at LCA, and Gabriel and Luke were on the team, and he was probably 135 pounds, and I never, ever thought that he would be a college basketball player. And as the years went on, I thought, man, he works pretty hard, he really knows the game, but he spent more time on the floor than he did on his feet. By the time he and Gabriel got older, and I saw, man, he's really improved. And the thing that I admired most about Steven is the impact or the influence that he had on winning. That's an intangible that only really special players have.
I didn't know if basketball was over or not. I definitely wanted to continue to play, but I didn't have like the opportunity presented right out of high school. I tested like going to other colleges and seeing if I wanted to play there, but I never felt like the Lord was calling me away from Liberty. So I got on the phone with Coach, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
When he asked if he could walk on, I said, well, you first got to serve as a manager. He didn't hesitate. He said, I just want to be a part of the program.
There's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. The days are very busy. Being here whenever like a player needs you, rebounding or getting waters and stuff. I continue to set goals. So when I was a manager, it was to become a player, and then I achieved that. So I continuously wanted to set new goals, and that was definitely one of them. When KR read the sheet, it left me speechless.
Congrats, Steven. You were on scholarship.
Just watching his reaction, because he doesn't show a lot of emotion. Steven's very poker faced. Watching his reaction was, it brought joy to my heart and to his teammates, because they were excited for Steven. He's so deserving, and that'll be one of the many memories that are etched in my tenure at Liberty, seeing Steven Berggraf receive that scholarship.
He spent the past 2 seasons as a manager and kind of continued that tradition of Liberty. Remember, he had Rax Farquhar, manager turned fan favorite. Yeah, and he's still on his staff. He had Colton Reed, Luke McKay last year, who both followed that same course of manager to earning a spot on the roster, and now you have Berggraf doing the same.
My role is do whatever I can do to make the team better. If I'm on the bench, my role is just provide energy.
Did that on purpose. Oh, Preston hammers on top of Forrest and lets him hear about it.
He's so easy to root for, and I hear the crowd wanting Steven to get in the game, and gladly acquiesce to their desires, because he's certainly earned his opportunity.
Berggraf, the steal. Lays it in, his first collegiate bucket from the field.
Nice finish by Steven Berggraf.
And this place erupted. He never cracked a smile.
I honestly don't know how I became the fan favorite.
Gives it, backdoor cut, Berggraf again.
I guess I'll try and embrace the role as much as I can. Definitely just want to go out there and just show how hard work can pave a way, and that your dreams can come true if you just keep working hard.
Thanks to our Donald Scott for putting that feature together. Man, being here at Liberty Arena gets me excited about basketball season. It's only June.
Yeah, well, we're going to go jack up some threes actually here in just a second. But before we do that, I want to remind you, LibertyFlamesCentral.com. You can go there to check out all of our past stories.
Brick. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.